All right, 410, write quadratic equations and models. Students will be able to write the function that describes a parabola when given a graph or given the vertex or a point. So what we're going to do is we're going to write a quadratic function in vertex form whose graph has given the vertex and passes through the given point. All right. So let's look at if the vertex is at 1, 6. So 1. So there's the vertex. So the vertex is at 1, 6. And we know that it passes through the point -1, 2. So -1, 2. All right. So we know, well, this is my vertex. This is my axis. Let's read. Here's my axis of symmetry. All right, let me see, where's my 1, 6? All right, so here's my vertex. Well, we know that this point is symmetrical to the axis of symmetry, so therefore I can find my other points. It'll be 1, 2, so it'll be 1, 2. So there's my points. All right, so we're going through the point -1, 2, or we can use point 3, 2. All right, so so here's your graph. All right. Now I want to come up with an equation for this graph, but we want it to be in vertex form. So vertex form states y equals a times quantity x minus h quantity squared plus k, where your vertex is hk. All right? So we're going to plug in everything that we know. All right, so we're going to plug in our vertex. Well, we know our vertex is 1, 6, so h is 1, k is 6. So that means I can rewrite it as minus 1 for h, quantity squared plus 6. Now we know what x and y is, we use the point that they've given us. So we got two choices here. We'll just stick with this one. All right, so that'll be x is -1. So put -1 in right here. 2 for y, so put here. And the only thing that is missing is a. So that's what we have to solve for. All right. So order of operations, I do what's in the parentheses. So I get -2 and do exponent, so I square it. So I have, so -2 squared is 4, so I got 4 times a, which is 4a plus 6. And now I want to solve for this, so I subtract 6 from both sides and then divide both sides by 4, and when you do that you only get a is equal to -1. So I'm going to take a and my vertex, and I can write it in my vertex form and be done. So let me pick a different color. Let's try this color. All right, so we have y is equal to, a is -1, so put -1, parenthesis x minus h is 1, squared plus k, and k is 6. So there is my equation. All right, so let's do one more. All right, so before we do that, let me go ahead and clear this. All right, this one we are going to pick, let's do 13 here. We're going to do the vertex is -1, -4. And the point that we're using is 2, -1. All right. So let's come back to the screen. All right. And this time I am not going to graph it. All right. So let me get rid of that. So we said the vertex is -1, -4. And the point that we're given is 2, -1. So I'm going to come up with the equation, a quadratic equation. It's in vertex form, given the vertex and given a point that it goes through. All right, so the formula is y is equals to a times the quantity x minus h, quantity squared, plus k. Now, if you remember, h and k comes from your vertex. So I'm going to go ahead and plug those in. So I got x minus h. H is -1. But then I got the minus in front. Okay, k is -4, so I'll put -4. Now we're going to find x and y. That's where the given point comes in. So I'm going to plug positive 2 in for x. Goes right there. And -1 in for y. So that leaves me with a. It's the only thing that I'm not given, but we have everything else. So that means I can solve for that. All right, so order of operations states I do what's inside the parentheses. So 2 minus the -1 becomes 2 plus 1, which is 3. 3 squared is 9. And then 9 times a is 9a. Get the -4. Add 4 to both sides. That gives me 3. Divide both sides by 9. So a is equal to 3 over 9, simplifies down to 1/3. All right, so when all else, so now what we do next is write our equation. So we're going to use a vertex again, because that gives us our h and our k. And a is our a. So here we go. So y is equal to a, which is 1/3, x minus a -1, so that's plus 1, quantity squared, minus 4. And there's your answer.